council members to silence and put away cell phones. If you need to step away or attend to personal matters, please make a motion to recess. For those participating by phone, please keep your device muted unless you are speaking. When speaking, kindly state your name for the benefit of those viewing the live stream. As a reminder, this meeting is being broadcast live. The camera is located above the clock at the back of the council chambers. Our proceedings follow Robert's Rules of Order as set forth in Wasilla Municipal Code 2.04.090. To promote an orderly and respectful meeting, I respectfully ask the council to observe the following rules. Please seek recognition before speaking. No member may speak more than twice on the same motion without a vote to suspend the rules. No member may speak a second time until all who wish to speak have had an opportunity to do so. These guidelines help ensure fairness, efficiency, and mutual respect during our discussions. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Councilmember Cottle?
Here.
Councilmember Graham?
Here.
Councilmember Schmidt is absent and excused unless objection is raised. Hearing none, his absence is excused. Councilmember Crafton?
Here.
Councilmember Johnson?
Here.
Councilmember Rubio?
Here.
You do have a quorum, Madam Mayor. All members are with us present in chambers except for Councilmember Schmidt, who is absent and excused.
Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, and Councilmember Graham, would you please lead us?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you. The first item of business is approval of the agenda. Before changes are discussed, are there conflicts of interest to declare? Hearing none, the agenda is approved as presented by,
Objection.
okay,
Sorry, you didn't ask for changes.
no, I didn't, but go ahead.
That's all right. Madam Mayor, I would like to move item 8.3.1, resolution serial 2538 to new business for discussion. I believe Mr. Johnson had something as well.
Madam Mayor, under commission and agency reports, if we could just have a brief statement on wind damage from our public works. Thank you.
We've got that. So,
Madam Mayor.
Mr. Crafton.
Thank you, Mayor. Could we have item 8.4.1 and number 2562 moved to new business, please?
Did you get that thing? All right. Are there any other changes?
Through the chair.
Madam Clerk?
Thank you. Through the chair to Councilmember Johnson. Would you like to hear a report, that report under agency reports at the beginning of the meeting, or do you want to wait till the end?
I think it'd be nice if we did it right at the beginning. Thank you.
Is that fair, Madam Mayor? Is that okay?
Under agency
Got it.
reports, yes.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll do that before planning. Okay. All right, is there an objection to the agenda as amended? If not, the agenda is approved. We have one special order of the day. Our HR Director, Kim, would you please come forward? Okay. The City of Wasilla was awarded Excellence in Local Government, Future of Local Government Award from the Alaska Municipal League. Its innovative policies, new technologies, or sustainability efforts to shape a municipality for the next 75 years. Human resource initiatives and innovation. That's the first award the municipality has ever gotten from AML.
Nice.
So we're all happy about that. We are on to commission and agency reports. Wasilla High School representative. And please start your report with your first and last name.
Good evening. This is Austin New City reporting for Wasilla High School. As with many schools this week, it is finals. We're wrapping up the year with our last tests and final grades for semester 1. Our wrestling team just went for division state tournament. Wasilla was strong, and from what I hear, but I'm not aware of current standings on leaderboards. Just on Saturday, we had a holiday craft bazaar called Crafts and Cookies with Santa. This was kind of a community project put on by our leadership team. We had free cookies and hot chocolate with Christmas-themed crafts. And it had a surprising turnout with the weather and rescheduling. So, also a repainting of the commons and partial upstairs areas of Wasilla High School. Over Christmas break, we'll be repainting our commons, and bulletin boards have temporarily been taken down this last weekend in preparation for that. So, yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you. And Public Works Director Eric, would you give us a report on any wind damage?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Eric Shaw, Public Works Director. As council knows, we've had some blustery weekends recently. One's wrapping up right now, of course. So last week, we had the big windstorm of this year so far, and there was some damage across the city. I'll just kind of go through different divisions, but within the roads division, we responded to multiple trees down. So the roads crew mobilized with loaders, pushed trees off the roads. Many of our railroad crossings suffer damage to the crossing arms. Those pretty susceptible to high winds, so several of those arms have broken off. The railroad responds to those, but we will be paying for those. That's our relationship with the railroad. When those crossings need repairs, we pay for that. At the airport, we had 2 planes that were damaged. One had its wings bent back, broken off, and they had to secure them to the plane. And the other one flipped over, and what likely happened there is it lost one of its tie downs, and then the remaining tie down caused it to flip upside down, and it had to be secured behind some vehicles. Large DC-3 plane had enough lift that it lifted both of its 3,600-pound concrete blocks and slid back 75 feet into the taxiway, but didn't suffer any damage. If you had gone out to the airport, you would see everyone arrived with their vehicles and blocked their vehicles, used their vehicles as windbreaks for their airplanes and tied themselves down better. We had a couple planes that we added some ropes to before the storm started to try to prevent damage when they were using insufficient tie downs. From the building side, we've had some signs damaged. MatCom lost its sign. That fence that was damaged in the January 22 event also succumbed to that damage again. The fence behind me at City Hall has come free, and City Hall's boilers blew out Sunday night. So when we came in Monday, the building was down to 43 degrees. So we averted a freeze-up issue in the building, but we got those going again. The parks were very heavily hit, especially with the Christmas decorations. So in the first event, we had multiple decorations blow down. The menorah blew over in the Iditarod Park location. We had to cancel the Christmas tree lighting, unfortunately. Several of the structures that the crew had built had collapsed, and you may have noticed on social media last night, but the nativity scene caught fire. And the likely cause of that was it rolled completely on its top. And there was a space heater that was mounted to what was the ceiling, which became the floor. And when it rolled over, the hay in the scene caught fire. So that has been damaged. And then the menorah blew over again, so we have some maintenance to do on that. The water and sewer side did quite well. We had installed the gas turbines for power generation at Spruce. Those stayed online, did great, didn't have a hitch. The new Richmond Hills booster station lost, so the MEA power service, it has a 3-phase 480 service. It lost a leg, one of the wires actually snapped off. And so that went into emergency generator mode, and it ran for about a day before it suffered a faulty sensor. The tank had gotten down to about half full, and for some reason the generator thought that it was empty, so it turned off the primary generator and it went to the secondary generator. So we responded and it outsmarted it by refilling the tank and got it back up online. And then the Bumpus water system lost its generator, and so we had to go restart that. The sewer plant came online with its backup generator. We had multiple power outages, as everyone had probably experienced, and it managed just fine with its system. So we do have some ongoing repairs, but we didn't suffer any major building issues. The water towers didn't lose any insulation or anything like that. It's mostly fences, signs, some trees, and we're in cleanup mode. And we're also submitting, with the governor's declaration of a disaster, we go through our record keeping for insurance purposes anyway, but those records will go into that data collection as we process maybe recouping some costs related to that. That's my report.
All right, thank you, Eric.
Thank you.
Madam
Mr.
Mayor,
Graham.
may I ask a question? Eric, thank you for the report. At Spruce, we were kind of operating off of a borrowed generator, weren't we, from the state? Do we still have that available to us?
We do, yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Kept that up and running, and it's still up there, but yep, that was
Great.
that got us along while we did that changeover.
Great, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Eric.
Thank you.
And now, we'll hear from Deputy Administrator for a report on the Planning Commission meeting.
Thank you, Mayor. Even though I was at the Alaska Municipal League Conference, I did come back on Tuesday night and attended the Planning Commission meeting with the city planner. We had excellent training from our attorney on the roles and responsibilities since we had some relatively new commissioners, just to revisit our roles and responsibilities, and then also passed a new format for our agenda, so it's a little bit more, it's easier for the public and us to understand as we go through that. And that was our report.
Okay, thank you. We will now hear from Chief Rapson for a report on Wasilla Police Department.
Bill Rapson, Chief of Police. If nobody has any objections, I'd like to kind of skip right to the special recognition that we did towards the end so that we can get them out on the road and kind of get them going. So Officer Wayne Miller, you want to come on out? Here, do you want to come up? We'll come up. So a couple things is that I want to highlight 2 calls. One with Officer Miller here, and then one with Detective Clausen, who will not be here tonight. But if you want to hold that, I want to read a little something. So this evening, we formally recognize Officer Wayne Miller for his courage, professionalism, and exemplary conduct during a critical incident on September 22nd, 2025. Officer Miller responded to a call involving a juvenile in crisis and located her seated on the edge of a 35-foot railroad bridge, preparing to jump. He maintained a calm and measured presence while attempting to de-escalate the situation, including authorizing a trusted friend to communicate with her. When the risk became immediate, Officer Miller acted without hesitation, placing himself in harm's way to pull the juvenile to safety, then ensured that she received prompt medical and behavioral health care. Officer Miller's actions prevented a tragic outcome and reflected the highest standards of public service and law enforcement. And for that, we wanted to recommend or have a commendation of heroism for that, because given the dynamics of the call and the quick thinking on your part. That was something that we wanted to recognize and say an excellent job, well done.
One, two.
Picture is yours. Are you ready? Perfect. Nice job, Wayne. The second one is Detective Clausen, which he will not be here tonight, but I wanted to highlight his call professionally and publicly over just his actions that wasn't too long ago. Detective Clausen is commended for his bravery, decision, action, and professionalism during a high-risk vehicle hostage rescue that resulted in a safe recovery of a 1-year-old infant. On November 19th and 2025, law enforcement responded to reports of an extremely malnourished infant that had been removed from a hospital against medical advice by an armed and hostile parent. Due to the immediate danger to the child's life, multiple specialized units coordinated a rescue operation. When the suspect was briefly separated from the vehicle, Detective Clausen and an assisting investigator approached the vehicle where the mother attempted to prevent access by locking the doors. Quick thinking by Detective Clausen broke a vehicle window, unlocked the door, and safety extracted the infant, sustaining minor injuries in the process. The child was transported for urgent medical care and both parents were taken into custody. Detective Clausen's actions directly saved the life of an infant and exceptional judgment, courage, and dedication to public safety. And we have a same reward for him for a combination of heroism that we will provide, but given his current assignment, he will not be here tonight.
Let me just say, as mayor for the city of Wasilla, I am so proud of our police department because they all go above and beyond whenever, no matter what the situation is. So congratulations to you, Mr. Miller, and to Clausen. So, thank you.
So here's my, the Wasilla Chiefs update for December 15th. The agenda today will be personnel and staffing update, comparative crime statistics, department initiatives, a report from the statewide drug enforcement unit, WPD in the community, our CIP projects, and then some more special recognitions, awards of just highlight, including the two that you just heard today. So our current staffing right now is we have 3 current open vacancies. One of those current vacancies is including the introduction that you're going to see tonight about how a position got inadvertently deleted for the fiscal budget. And that's, again, you'll see that tonight as an introduction with that position. We've had 2,000 hits on NeoGov up until November 25th, 2025. We had 13 applicants, including 4 laterals, all from out of state. There, we have a conditional job offer on one right now. Our posting is closed, given our vacancies, and I'm optimistic that we should have conditional offers on the next 2 if that position that's in introduction gets approved later on down the road. We currently just hired 2 new hires, and one of them is sitting in the back. He should be in the back. Is he still here? There he is. That's Skylar Day. He is coming from Department of Corrections. He'll be heading down to Sitka here in a couple months, and he'll be down there for 16 weeks. We've also hired River Makita. He is not here, and he will be attending Mr. Day down at the Sitka Academy for the DPS athletic from January 25th to May 22nd. Unfortunately, we do have an administrative assistant, Carrie. She will be leaving us on June 30th of this year to go do other things that her heart and with her animals and what she wants to do. So we actually had an open position currently that we just closed, and out of it, you'll see 119 applications, which is incorrect. We actually had 121 applications for the front desk. We did some lateral internal movements with that. So we interviewed 4. There should be a selection here pretty quickly on the multiple qualified applicants that we received out of that. Promotions, we just recently moved Officer Mooney from patrol over to a full-time detective. I believe this is his first week that he's been in there, and he kind of hit the ground running. And then we had a couple resignations due to other matters, and one in October and one in September. And then I have 3 suspected sworn officer retirements in the next 36 months. That kind of gives a basic rundown of my personnel and staffing and kind of where we're going. Again, I'm optimistic by the end of the year, I feel confident enough that I should have conditional offers on, for sure those 2, and if not that 3, that 3rd position. So moving on, the comparative crime stats that we have, and this is from July 30th until to November 20th, 2025, when we pulled the numbers on it. Roughly had about 7,800 calls for service, and that's covering 17 patrol officers. That gives about a weekly, daily, and average call of 30 calls a week, or 8 to 10 calls a day for each officer assigned to patrol division. And that's including all calls compared to MVAs, which is motor vehicle accidents, to civil, to disturbances, to criminal cases, and that's on average that each officer is responding to per day. During that time frame, we've had about 216 total arrests, and that include 179 of those as a physical arrest or on remand, and then 37 of those is about summons or they were cited. About 520 case reports during that time frame, and then code compliance had about 385 calls for service. Again, this is a period between July 30th and November 20th, which was covering the last update that I've had that I provided council with. The statistics is kind of broken down in a little bit, and you kind of see where a lot of our calls are going to. We had 277 911 calls. We've had 348 welfare checks, which will coincide with the MCT, and the MCT is the Mobile Crisis Team, which is run for a lot of calls that we do with welfare checks that we may be able to provide a service for them, but we'll get them in touch with the Mobile Crisis Team that will be able to provide resources, take them to hospitals, take them to go whatever the needs that they may need, and it will free up the officers so they can respond for calls. We've had 276 criminal trespasses, 105 animal calls during that time frame, 129 disturbances. Traffic stops and offenses, we had about 1,900 during that time frame, 420 ready reports, 40 DUIs, 46 criminal traffic offenses. Then we've had roughly about 267 motor vehicle collisions during that time frame. You can kind of see some other highlighted stats that I provided for your convenience to look through later. Again, this is just still a breakdown of kind of where a majority of our calls are going through, which is with, I've said before, with 170,000 cars going by on a weekend on West Little Lake, traffic's gonna be our big number one deal, and given the amount of calls that we're getting for calls for service throughout the week, is still, as you can see, is a large number of our stops that we are doing, given the opportunity that we try to make those proactive stops. But those are also including ready reports or other matters that officers may be responding to. But again, this is just a pie chart of what the previous stat shows prior to that. Again, this is kind of the offense statistics is that we have about property offenses is about a majority of it, which is going to include your burglary, fraud, theft, shoplift, vehicle theft, criminal mischief. Again, the traffic offenses is going to be everything from DUI pursuits, criminal driving offenses, and then you have your municipal ordinance violations. Domestic violence and crimes against persons are right there, and we got about we had about 37 violent offenses during that time frame, and that includes assault, robbery, sexual assault, kidnapping, etc. Some of the thing that a new stat that I kind of threw in here is our are statistics that we are getting back from the district attorney's office. When we send over what we call as our charging document as a SID, when those SIDs come back, it will have a disposition on what the case that come back on. And this is kind of a breakdown of what we've had from January 2025 till November. And since then, we have 809 SIDs that have been returned. Of those was about roughly 1,400 charges on those SIDs. This is kind of a breakdown just for this WPD, is that out of that 1,400, 513 come back guilty and is convicted of the offense. 87 come back guilty and convicted of a reduced offense, and 863 were charged, but were dismissed or refused by the prosecutor's office. And then 10 were referred over to the juvenile justice. I'm not gonna speak for the district attorney's office, but they are actively on district court. They're roughly around 600 to 700 active cases per attorney. And then they're only able to process about 40 felony cases. And again, to get hard numbers through them, you'll have to reach out, or I can reach out to them to get those hard numbers. But that's kind of the basic numbers that we've been kind of seeing coming back from us through Wasilla PD. And then this is kind of some of the more statistics that we ended up breaking down. Is out of those 863 dismissed or refused charges, 680 of those were just flat out charged, dismissed or refused. 28 were charged, dismissed, defendant convicted in another case. And then we had 118 dismissed, pled to in essence of another offense, which is basically a plea out of that. So it kind of gives you a breakdown, which we've been tracking for quite a while. To see kind of where it's going. And a lot of those dismissals that are coming in are a lot of your low-level crimes. Department initiatives, we continue our partnerships with the Matsu Drug and Endangered Children's Program, which is the DEC, or LEPC, which is the Matsu Borough Local Emergency Planning. MCT, Children's Place, Matsu, My House. We are partners with the Matsu Police Explorer Program with the Alaska State Troopers, Palmer PD, and us. We have personnel on the SWAT team, Project Hope Alaska, and we are partners with the Alaska National Guard Drug Support Program, APOA, and then the FBI National Academy, and many more other partnerships that are local in the area. Recently, I was contacted by the Alaska Peace Standards Council and asked if Wasilla PD would want to be a regional training hub. And after good discussions with the APSC staff, felt like Wasilla PD is that hub to be a regional training center for the South Central area, along with DOC in the area here. Really, it's just providing that facility. We do have a state-of-the-art facility, and we also have a lot of instructors that can teach and keep everything localized here to bring in great training statewide that we can conduct here and have that available for our officers and have it available for officers in the region. Some other regional hubs include Juneau, Fairbanks, Soldotna, and Bethel. Again, with Wasilla and DOC in the area, we have the South Central covered pretty well, and I'm looking forward to having a great relationship for a training hub out here and being a part of that. Some ongoing training that we've been, I'll talk briefly here in a few minutes about the multi-agency active shooter, active threat training. That's something that's been very important to me since I started in 2022. We've had our continuing control tactics and defensive tactics, our pit pin for our vehicle. Matter of fact, we had firearms training and qualifications. Matter of fact, we were supposed to have some low light and no light shooting today out at Birchwood, but given the wind conditions, we had to postpone that, which will be later this week. Given the fact that it is dark, and it is dark a lot up here, that we train extensively in those type of situations. But given the wind, it wasn't gonna work out today. So We continue to do department shield training and instructor course, hostage negotiation, child crimes investigation. Lieutenant Lopez and myself just recently attended the FBI LEDA Media and Public Relations class that was sponsored by DPS at the State Crime Lab. That was an excellent course. And then we have officers selected to go to the FBI LEDA Supervisory and Command course to build on their skill set and build on further in their career. This is the multi-agency active threat exercise that was conducted on October 11th. For the last 3 years, we have internally have conducted active shooter training. This year, I had the vision of having a little bit more wide scale of getting all the agencies together that would be working together if the unfortunate event that this would happen. We had an excellent turnout. We were able to work on things that we need to work on together internally through WPD, along with working with other agencies given their different roles and responsibilities. It was an extensive test set up by the EOC and all the other agencies such as WPD, MATCOM, DPS, AST Palmer, Central Mat-Su Fire Department, Mat-Su Borough EMS, American Red Cross, Mat-Su Borough School District, Mat-Su Regional Medical Center, the Mat-Su MCT, and hundreds of volunteers. It's the first large-scale exercise of this kind in the Mat-Su. And then I also want to give a huge shout out to City Roads and Keith over at City Roads, and then Denali Gymnastics, which were instrumental in making this exercise happen. And you will see some pictures in the PowerPoint there of the volunteers and the cars at the WPD parking lot, and then everybody that's inside the school getting ready to prepare for the threat. So we wouldn't have been able to have that exercise and work on those skills and that responsibilities that we have if it wasn't for the volunteers that gave up their Saturday morning to help us train. Again, there's some great more pictures in here. Unification operations, try to make it as realistic as possible. So we're looking forward to, hopefully we can continue to do that every year and just really hone in on our skill set and work together and efficiently and get those bugs out of the way now while we can and while we can control it. So, oops. The little update on the Mat-Su Police Explorer program. Again, this is a joint program supported by WPD, Palmer PD, and Alaska State Troopers. We currently have 20 current explorers. We host it at Wasilla PD. Volunteers spend their nights, Wednesday nights usually, I believe it is, to go and help these kids and teach them and show them law enforcement and mentor them and bring them up as they're young enough to do that. So some of the recent activities and trainings that they've done is they were instrumental and helped us out with that active shooter training. The security and traffic support for the Guns and Hoses hockey game that was recently not too long ago over at the Menard. They were involved in the Emergency Preparedness Expo. They worked with the Valley Community Cleanup event. They were supposed to do the Colony Christmas. I kind of prematurely put it in there before it got canceled. The parade over in Palmer. And then they've been doing numerous training hours in various law enforcement topics. Here's some code enforcement initiatives that we've been working on. We've been hosted a Mat-Su Borough Planning and Code Enforcement staff for joint meetings to discuss homelessness, vagrancy, and problem properties. We were able to deal with a problem property and get that individual into the care that was properly set for him. But you can kind of see some of the ongoing, code compliance issues that our code compliance officer works with on a regular basis amongst the other MOV violations to include animal calls. Speak briefly to the FBI Media and Public Relations course. This was attended by myself and Lieutenant Lopez. Was an excellent course that I highly recommend that my staff to attend to later. Again, these are just some tactical training pictures that we've been doing. This is what you see here is an advanced pistol and rifle training. which would happen at APD Birchwood, which was hosted by LMS Defense. Getting some more pictures of officers with tactical patrol rifle training, and then our SROs with qualifications with the MPX that they have. Again, this is just some pictures of our ongoing training for vehicle tactics. We're pit and pin, and that's precision intervention tactics, and that was out at JBR, hosted by the Alaska State Troopers Advanced Training Unit. Little update on the statewide drug enforcement, SDEU. Again, these numbers are from July 30th to November 21st. During that time frame, the drug unit out here in the valley has received roughly about $38,000 in U.S. currency, 25 grams of cocaine, 447 grams of methamphetamine. The big one is 193 grams of fentanyl, 13 firearms that roughly had a street value about almost 150,000, and that's just during that that time frame that I said, July 30th to November 21st. WPD in the community. As you can see here, as our SRO, Apollo, who's the SRO out at Reddington, was out at the Rock Matsu Youth Event. Our SRO Peterson over the summer, who's our Wasilla High School SRO, was engaging with the kids over at the Denali Gymnastics Summer Program. We participated in the 9/11 Remembrance Ceremony, hosted by the Matsu Fire Department. And you can see Lieutenant Lopez, Carey, who will be leaving us in January, and Officer McDaniel, Sergeant Birch. During Halloween, we participated in the Wasilla Trunk or Treat event over at Denali Gymnastics, and it was a huge hit, and you'll see Detective Baker there that was out engaging with the kids. And then we also, on one of the Wasilla High School football games, they had a Veterans Night, and you'll see an Army flyover that was coordinated by SRO Petersons, and Lieutenant Lopez were instrumental in making that happen to show appreciation for the veterans, and be a cool event to have the helicopters fly over right before the football game, which was pretty fun. As you well know, I have to say a little shout out because we won 6-2. So they again they didn't show up. So but it's all right. They got us last year, but it was a good game. Our Lieutenant Lopez plays in that action. It was a great event. It was for a charity event hosted at the complex. Lots of people, 2,500 plus. We were able to get traffic in and out of there really quickly this year, which was a win for us compared to last year on the limitations that we had. So we had the parking lot cleared out and within probably about 10 minutes, which was good. So again, some updates on our CIP projects. You'll see our perimeter fencing is just about finished. We're kind of waiting on some gates. We're going to be widening the gates a little bit, but we'll be putting the gates in. We're kind of waiting for those. And then our fuel tank has been great having that right there. And we got that operating without any issues, and getting filled up, and it's been a good deal to have that fuel available for us to spray at the PD. So special recognition and awards. One thing we want to highlight is Officer Scott Fitchett is in the back. He had a longevity of 20 years of WPD. And then we also had Carrie, who's been with us from 2018 to 2025, and again, she will be leaving us in January, at the end of January, to move on to kind of her passion of dealing with animals and that stuff. We had the retirement of Sergeant Don Ridge, who spent 20 years at WPD, and then he had about 30 years of law enforcement. He's retired, living up to the north of us, and believe he's on his farm and enjoying life. Officer Zach Ragsdale, who just recently graduated from the Anchorage Police Academy in November, just a couple weeks ago, and he is hitting the ground right now, starting his FTO process, and we're glad to have him back and out on the road. And hopefully he can get through FTO here pretty quickly and kind of help out with calls. Again, this is the Valor accommodation that we had, that it just was towards the end that we ended up moving to the front, so. Any questions or comments?
Mr. Graham?
Thank you, Chief, very informative. Nice to see a nice complete report like it. I actually have several questions, flipping through the slides. Your personnel and staffing, you have 2 officer retirements, resignations, new hire recruits, one in September and one in October. So had these recruits completed training, and where was their training? I mean, were they with it?
Are you talking about the resignations that we have?
Yes.
So one of them was a lateral, that took another job with the Department of Homeland Security in Anchorage. And then one of them was a recruit that went to the APD Academy, and he was unable to finish his FTO, his field training program.
So we did lose one to another agency then, so.
Yeah, Department of Homeland Security.
Okay. And then on police statistical period, July 30th, November 20th, I noticed the absence of your participation in drug take-back day. That's very important to the community that you guys are there.
Right.
We certainly
You are
appreciate
correct.
everything that you have done to make that happen. I think I just have 2 more things here real quick. Number 1, our building becoming a regional training hub, not just the building, but our core of police officers. Is there a fiscal note to that, or are we simply providing the facility for others or our routine training to happen?
We will provide the facility for it, and typically if we host it, then we'll get a deal on having our officers attend it. If we are hosting it and sponsoring it, we'll have, depending on what the course is, we'll have an instructor or whatever organization that teaches it will say, you know, you guys are allowed 3 free spots because you're hosting it or whatever the case may be. So there will be a benefit, and there won't be very, other than operating the lights and all that stuff, there won't be anything that would be any kind of fiscal point that we have to do. It's just to be a centralized location for
Great.
it.
Well, I'm glad to hear you're doing that. And then we talk about the statewide drug enforcement unit. Over the years, we have received funds from forfeited property that's sold at auction and brought to us. Is that program still ongoing? I haven't heard anything about that in quite a while.
It is still going, but it is severely slow. We've had some things pending from 2019. I remember this coming in from the DEA that we have yet to see yet, so I don't know what the process is. I know that the forfeitures and the seizures that are coming in here it's few and far between. They're getting processed, but I wouldn't be able to tell you what that is or when that's gonna come in. It's just doesn't come in as frequently as what it used to be back 10, 15 years ago.
Glad to hear the program is still alive. And then the last thing on the bulk fuel station at the police department there, that's a great innovation. Is that self-service by the officers, or do we have to get our mechanic out there to pump?
No, it's self-service. It's just by a keypad based off a driver ID number, and it activates the pump and you're good to go. It's pretty quick.
Thank you. Once again, thank you for a great report. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Madam Mayor?
Mr. Crafton?
Thank you, Mayor. Going over the dismissed or refused charges here, the 680 number, could you explain that a little bit further again? As to exactly, because it looks like all the others are broken down. What does that mean exactly?
So
Are they just not
that,
providing a reason?
from our SIDS that we get back from the district attorney's office, if there's a charge for a crime, whatever the case may be, trespass, shoplift, whatever the case may be, the disposition coming back that the DA's office just dropped it, dismissed it, charged it, or refused to prosecute. So there's no plea, there's no nothing, they're just not charging, given what the level of the crime is. So they're not even, it's not even getting presented to be pled out, it's just flat out dismissed and kicked back.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mayor.
Okay, all right, Chief, thank you so much. Very informative. So we are now at public hearing. Madam Clerk, please read the first ordinance by title.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. ordinance serial number 2539, amending Wasilla Municipal Code Section 504060, examination of city financial records and financial statements to change the required completion date of the annual audit from November 30 to January 31st.
Okay. The public hearing on ordinance serial number 25-39 is now open. Anyone wishing to testify, please come forward and begin by stating your first and last name. Comments are limited to 3 minutes per person. Okay, seeing none, the public hearing is closed. Is there a motion to adopt ordinance serial number 25-39?
Madam Mayor,
Mr. Crafton,
I move ordinance serial number 2539.
is there a second?
Rubio seconds.
It has been moved by Councilmember Crafton and seconded by Councilmember Rubio to adopt ordinance serial number 25-39. Is there discussion?
Madam Mayor?
Mr. Crafton?
Thank you, Mayor. If I could to Ted there, I was looking back, and it doesn't look like we've had issues meeting this deadline in the past. I think there was 1 year we did, maybe it was the 2024 fiscal year. What is changing so drastically that we need to move this date?
Through the mayor to Councilmember Crafton. I think we had a issue in 24 and also 25, and this year in 26 we have not or will not meet that goal. And what has happened is that there's been a change since the pandemic. And one, our staffing, but two, also with the CPAs and their demand and staffing levels too. So for this year, we weren't able to actually get on the docket for them or until about November for our field work. And since we're just completing that, it is now taking them over a month to almost 2 months to actually complete the financials and have them ready for presentation. So even if we were able to have everything done in September and have field work in October, we would still not make the time frame. And this is a change from when I was finance director here, because we could actually have the field work in at the end of October and still make a November deadline, but it's been quite a change since the pandemic and the change in staffing levels, like I said, for both on our side and then on the accounting field side and in general.
If I could continue, Mayor. I guess I'm not hearing, outside of staffing levels, I mean, if I recall in here, it mentioned there was regulations or the processes changed a bit. What is causing this not to exactly get us done on time? Because, I mean, I'm struggling with this one here, because it just sounds like this is a one-off time situation. Because when I looked back, it was only 24. 25 would it be the one we're talking about now? And we're in fiscal year 2026 right now, right?
Right.
So
And
that would be next
I
year's.
23 also, but I'd have to go back. But it's been,
Through the chair to the council, I always like to verify, but it's been several years.
So what changed during COVID? Because I'm hearing staffing levels changed, and
Well-
what I guess need further clarification on that.
through the mayor to Councilmember Crafton, it's been a change in, again, just the market, the ability for accounting firms to actually get all the demand. And like I said, the field work is the key to everything. And just with us now, for example, not being able to do our field work till, say, even October, would still push it probably past the November because of the time period it takes the accounting firms now to get things done. And then the other thing that has happened, and I should have mentioned this earlier, is just the new GASB regulations have put a lot more work on our staff and then on a test by the accounting firms. For example, the GASB on leases takes a lot more time. Also, one of the ones we call Sabita, where we now have to capitalize all of our software, is taking a lot more time on our side, which pushes the field work back, and then it also then pushes the time period it takes for the accounting corporations, the auditors, to do their work. We are doing January. We put it as January because that still allows us 3 months to get our single audits in on time. And I'd like to say that it's still our goal would be to have it done by the end of December, but the November 30th time period is just not going to be feasible in our mind going forward in the future, just based on the fact that it takes us through about September to get all our invoices in. So, field work's maybe mid-October to November. And would push that month. The November deadline has been the same since, the whole time when I was here before. And things have just changed, like I said, in the labor market, also in how much more test work has to be done due to new GASB rules and regulations.
Thank you.
Okay, is there further discussion? Hearing none. Is there an objection to the motion? Hearing none, the motion is adopted. Okay, Madam Clerk.
Thank you. Next ordinance for public hearing, ordinance serial number 2540, amending Wasilla Municipal Code Section 504030, general fixed assets, to increase the fixed asset capitalization threshold from $5,000 to $10,000.
The public hearing on ordinance serial number 2540 is now open. Anyone wishing to testify, please come forward and begin by stating your first and last name. Comments are limited to 3 minutes per person. Seeing no one, we will close the public hearing. Is there a motion to adopt ordinance serial number 25-40?
Madam Mayor, so moved by Councilman Johnson.
Is there a second?
Madam Mayor, I'll second the motion.
It has been moved by Councilmember Johnson and seconded by Councilmember Crafton to adopt ordinance serial number 25-40. Is there discussion? Mr. Graham?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Ted, Mr. Leonard, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's been more than 20 years since this threshold was established at $5,000. Is that correct?
Through the mayor to Councilmember Graham, yes, it has been. And the one thing I would like to state is that by changing the capitalization level, we're only changing when it has to be recognized to be equipment on our balance sheet. This still does not mean that we are not going to track, as you call, walkable assets like computers and those type of things are still going to be tracked by the IT department. So this is just really a financial item that states when we have to capitalize an asset.
And it reduces the amount of record keeping
Yes.
required on these smaller value assets, is that correct? Thank you.
Madam Mayor,
Mr. Johnson?
follow-on question to that. As we increase the capital value from 5,000 to 10,000, right now we have capitalized then purchases that were at 5,000. What kind of financial impact / write-off are we going to take with the adoption of this motion?
Through the mayor to Councilmember Johnson, I don't really think that we are because we actually do not have, if you would look at our budgets right now, we do not have that many items that are over the $5,000 limit. And the only things that could be would be some larger servers. So really only all the vehicles will still be capitalized. So I'm thinking less than $100,000 that would be actually go to the balance sheet instead of would now be an expenditure. And that's just off the top of my head. Again, for budgetary purposes, we budget it all so the council sees that anyway. It's only really a financial item at the end where a certain amount of the expenditures, like you're saying, council member, go on to the balance sheet instead of being expense.
Madam Mayor.
Mr. Crafton?
Thank you, Mayor. And to Ted, if I could as well. I remember during our last budget cycle, there was some confusion around when an item was listed as a capital expenditure and versus it going as a line item for repairs in a department's budget. Is this gonna help simplify that process? Because it seemed like that was part of the confusion last time was where things fell.
Through the mayor to Councilmember Crafton, I would believe so. And as we go through the budget cycle this year, we will be very cognizant of that and ensure that real capital items that are over, say, the $10,000 limit and do extend the life would actually be capitalized and not as maintenance. And that's really where the issue comes on when you're looking at whether or not you're improving an asset or extending the life. And I wasn't here through that part of it, but we would definitely, as we're going through those expenditures, and it would be with mainly Public Works, whether or not we're extending the life would dictate whether or not it would be capitalized or not.
Awesome. I think this is a great change. Thank you.
Is there further discussion? Hearing none, is there an objection to the motion? Hearing none, the motion is adopted. Madam Clerk?
Thank you. Last public hearing this evening, ordinance serial number 2541, repealing Wasilla Municipal Code Title VII, Animal Care and Regulation, to transfer the city's jurisdiction and authority over animal care to the Matanuska-Susitna Borough on an area-wide basis, effective upon the borough's acceptance of such jurisdiction and authority.
Is there a motion to adopt ordinance serial number 2541?
Madam Mayor, I move ordinance serial number 2541.
Is there a second?
Rubio seconds.
Public hearing.
Oh, sorry.
So just back up.
Let me back up. Okay, the public hearing on ordinance serial number 2541 is now open. Anyone wishing to testify, please come forward by stating your first and last name. Comments are limited to 3 minutes per person. Seeing no one, the public hearing is closed, and there has been a motion made by Councilmember Crafton and seconded by Rubio. Is there discussion?
Madam Mayor.
Mr. Crafton?
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to say I think this has been a much-needed change. I know, we just had our chief's police report here or department report, and I think in here there was, just in the last 30 or 60, 90 days or so, our code compliance responded to a little over 300 calls, and almost half of those were just to animal care calls. So I think this is going to help free up Charlie's time, and I feel like he's not going to know what to do with his time now, but he'll find plenty to do for the time being. But I think this is a great, much needed change. So I'm for this.
Okay. Is there objection to the motion? The motion is adopted. We are now at persons to be heard, a time for members of the public to share their views with the council. Please note that this is not a question and answer period. Speakers may be referred to administration, and items raised may be taken under advisement. Please begin your testimony by stating your first and last names, and if you are a city resident, comments are limited to 3 minutes. And at this time, I would invite Lori, our MATCOM person up. She is just going to give us a brief report on what MATCOM is doing. And I forgot her at the end of Chief's report, just so you know.
Well, I was gonna see about doing this another time when I could do a full report like Chief did, so I have to pull up my statistics if you can give me just a second.
Time for that.
So over last weekend, when the windstorm started, our dispatchers worked, I believe it was about 3/4 more calls than what they're normally used to taking through the day. But a lot of our key statistics there were handling calls for service. They had over 1,056 calls for service from December 8th. Sorry, didn't bring my glasses up with me. Over that weekend. And then total phone calls answered, we had 1,986 phone calls answered and a total of 924 outgoing calls made during that weekend. Just dealing with that up there at MATCOM, I didn't bring my other phone with me, but I'd love for you to have heard the noise that was coming in through those windows. I've got an estimate to fix those windows for about $12,000 it was amazing. It sounded like a train coming through there, and it was very distracting to be able to handle all those emergency and non-emergency calls during that. Mary and I both came in on Monday and kept in contact with the crew over the weekend, so it was a very busy weekend for them. They handled it like champs, and very proud of the team, so just wanted to give you an update on what they went through that weekend, so.
Okay. Mr. Johnson?
Madam Mayor, I didn't quite understand your window. Was it just window noise in MATCOM that was the
Yeah, there's
problem?
been some separation in there. The wind was really coming through about 4 windows up there. It's an old bank building. It's not a good public safety building, and it's definitely had better days. The I wasn't there for the earthquake, but I know it really shook things up, and we just had that a couple weeks ago, during Thanksgiving, and that shook the building pretty good too during that, so. But the windows do need some repair it was a little, concerning hearing those. I mean, they were listening to that train sound coming through those windows, which was very loud in there when trying to take phone calls, so.
Madam Mayor, a follow-up question to Public Works. Do we have any plan to replace those windows and improve the situation?
Oh,
Yeah, so through the mayor, as Lori alluded to, our building maintenance crew has met on site with some contractors to figure out what it'll take to stop those wind leaks.
Okay, all right, thank you, Lori.
thanks.
Okay, and now Jeannie Trzynski.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, Jeannie Trzynski, President of the Friends of Wasilla Library. We finished off our 4th Art for Seniors in the Library in November, and we're working now with the Mat-Su Council on Aging and the Mat-Su Health Foundation and 4 other libraries, Willow, Big Lake, Palmer, and Sutton, to get more of these classes set up around the valley. There's just a huge demand, and they've just been really, really positive. In January, the Friends are sponsoring the supplies for one of the classes, watercolor classes to be held at WASI. And it's a lot of work setting up the classes and coordinating things, but the benefits are just incredible. This weekend, on Saturday, we had a Alice in Wonderland party at the library, and the Friends did the tea party part, the Mad Hatter tea party part. We served 60 people for the tea party. We had some additional people that were there, but everybody had a lot of fun. The library staff did these really wild and really interesting games that were all Alice in Wonderland themed. So it was really, really positive. It was a really great day. We didn't really know if anybody would show up because of the wind and the all the things that had been changed, rescheduled to that Saturday, but we still had a great turnout. This week, we just worked today. We were at the library. The Friends were there from 9 this morning till right before I came here tonight, 6 o'clock. We are going to have our Christmas tree stroll. We had one last year. This year, we have 24 trees. We have 24 baskets, and we're silent auctioning off all of that. But really, the fun last year was people just coming and looking at the trees. We had so much positive feedback from people that really enjoyed it. The trees are all themed. There's everything from a dulcimer tree to a Grinch Who Stole Christmas tree. They're really, really fun. At noon today, there were 16 people from the community there setting up trees, and they were just giddy with excitement to be there to support the library. And it kind of brings tears to my eyes because I just know when I see this how much people value our library. We'll be open this week for viewing for the trees from 10:30 to 1:30 and 2:30 to 5:30, and the 2:30 to 5:30 time we'll be serving hot chocolate. And so I really hope that if you have a chance, you come by, bring your family, invite your friends to come. It's really amazing. Thank you so much.
Rebecca Schmidt.
Thanks, Jeannie.
Mayor and Council, I'm Rebecca Schmidt. I would like to bring your attention to the FCC and Congress proposals to strip local control over cell towers, a law and policy conversation. The FCC has released a sweeping new proposed rulemaking, WT docket number 25-276, which is intended to strip local control over the siting of cell towers, the siting of cell towers, intended to strip local control. Towers and wireless telecommunications equipment. At the same time, Congress is considering H.R. 2289, a bill that would similarly strip local control and exempt numerous wireless telecommunications facilities from environmental and historic preservation reviews. This deregulatory effort comes despite the FCC's failure to comply with the DC Circuit's 2021 EHT versus FCC court order, and an ever-growing body of peer-reviewed scientific evidence linking wireless radiation exposure to serious adverse health impacts. Pardon me. Environmental Health Services features leading experts in the field technology safety, discussing the federal proposals and the urgent need to preserve local control to ensure public health protection. What they're basically doing is trying to put cell towers every 440 feet, despite schools and playgrounds and public health. So I thought I should come and talk to you about it.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay. We will close persons to be heard. We are now at the consent agenda. Madam Clerk, please read the items for approval under the consent agenda.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We have 2 items under our consent agenda: the regular city council meeting minutes, November 24, 2025, and 1 public, or introduction recommended for public hearing on January 12th, 2026. That's ordinance serial number 2601, amending the fiscal year 2026 budget by appropriating $82,907 from the general fund balance for the purpose of adding 1 full-time FTE police officer 1-2 position at the Wasilla Police Department that was inadvertently deleted in the fiscal year 2025 budget.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda as read?
Madam Mayor, move the consent agenda as read.
Second by Councilman Johnson.
It's been moved by Councilmember Crafton and seconded by Councilmember Johnson to approve the consent agenda as read. Is there an objection? Hearing none, the consent agenda is approved. We are now at unfinished business. Madam Clerk.
The title of our unfinished business item this evening is 2561, confirmation of the mayoral appointment of Tommy Truitt, Dan Fleckenstein, and Megan Montague to the Parks and Recreation Commission, Aaron McCarty to the Airport Advisory Commission, and Carolyn DeYoung and Simon Brown to the Planning Commission. This item was postponed from our November 25th City Council meeting. Motion to adopt is pending.
Are you going to say anything about Tommy?
Madam Mayor?
Mr. Crafton.
Thank you, Mayor. Without objection from the council, I'd like to remove Tommy Truitt due to unqualification.
Is there an objection? Hearing none, then Tommy Truitt will be moved because he does not meet the qualifications.
And if I may, Madam Mayor,
Yes.
just for the sake of explanation, that was actually a clerical error. I apologize. On that commission, we have 1 non-city seat. The rest you have to be a city resident. Dan Fleckenstein is filling that non-city seat resident. The address Mr. Truitt put on his application, his voter registration, all indicates that he does reside outside city limits, therefore doesn't qualify. And again, we apologize for that clerical error.
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
I'd like to divide this question and take each person individually.
Okay.
Start from the top and go down.
Is there a second? Is that a motion?
Yes.
Is there a second?
Graham seconds.
The motion has been made and seconded to divide the question. Madam Clerk, roll call vote if you would.
On the division of the question?
Yes.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Councilmember Cottle, how do you vote?
Yes.
Councilmember Graham?
Yes.
Councilmember Crafton?
Yes.
Councilmember Johnson?
Yes.
Councilmember Rubio?
Yes.
The motion to divide the question passes unanimously.
Okay.
Again. So if there's no objection from the council, do you want me to read off each one individually? So this then, I believe, is on the appointment of Dan Fleckenstein to the Parks and Recreation Commission. Is the motion before the council?
Okay, is there discussion on the motion?
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
Thank you. I think Dan's a great choice for it. He's highly active in our community, so for Parks and Rec, I think he's a perfect fit. So I think he's a great option for this one. Plus, I believe he's already seated too, I believe, and he is our out of city
Position.
position. I wouldn't
May I
say-
have a motion and a second on that appointment?
Yeah,
Oh,
motion
sorry.
to approve Dan Fleckenstein to the Parks and Rec Commission.
Okay.
Rubio seconds.
Okay. The motion's been made by Councilmember Crafton, seconded by Councilmember Rubio to approve Dan Fleckenstein to the Parks and Rec Commission. Is there further discussion? Hearing none, is there objection to the motion? Hearing none, Dan Fleckenstein is appointed.
Next, this would be Megan Montang. I apologize if I'm botching that, to the Parks and Recreation Commission.
Is there a motion?
Graham moves Megan Montaigne for approval.
Is there a second?
Rubio seconds.
The motion's been made by Councilmember Graham and seconded by Councilmember Rubio to approve Megan Montaigne to the Parks and Rec Commission. Is there discussion? Hearing none, is there? I'm sorry.
That's all right. I think Megan's a very good choice for this. Not only has she kind of grown up through the park system, by pulling weeds and watering flowers and all that fun stuff, but she has a educational background, that deals with Parks and Rec, not from the recreation side, but from the holistic part of, taking care of Mother Earth part of things. So she's well balanced in all aspects there. So I highly recommend that we approve her.
Is there further discussion? Hearing none, is there objection to the motion?
Madam Mayor, I object.
Okay,
Roll call vote.
roll call vote.
This is on the appointment of Megan Montaigne to the Parks and Recreation Commission. Councilmember Cottle, how do you vote?
Yes.
Councilmember Graham?
Yes.
Councilmember Crafton?
No.
Councilmember Johnson?
Yes.
Councilmember Rubio?
Yes.
A motion to appoint Megan Montaigne to the Parks and Recreation Commission passes with council members Cottle, Graham, Johnson, and Rubio in support. Councilmember Crafton opposed, Councilmember Schmidt absent.
Okay. The next is Aaron McCarthy to the Airport Advisory Commission. Is there a motion?
Madam Mayor, I move to approve Aaron McCurdy to the Airport Advisory Commission.
Is there a second?
Second by Councilman Johnson.
The motion has been made by Councilmember Cottle and seconded by Councilmember Johnson to appoint Aaron McCarthy to the Airport Advisory Commission. Is there discussion?
Madam
Madam
Mayor.
Mayor?
Mr. Johnson?
Yes, I wholeheartedly approve him. He has a very good aviation background. I've talked to him personally, so I would recommend him for the commission wholeheartedly.
Mr. Graham?
I agree with Councilperson Johnson. This is a person with an aviation background, not just as a pilot, but as a mechanic, and has been working out of the airport and other airports, so he understands what we need to move that airport forward, which is a huge project for the city, and he's going to be a great choice to help us move in that direction.
Further discussion? Mr. Johnson?
Madam Mayor, the only thing that is in the back of my mind is that Silver Sky, are they currently a leaseholder at the airport? Is that correct? So that could be potentially a conflict of interest. However, even so, I would still consider him to be a valuable resource for the position.
Further discussion?
Madam Mayor?
Mr.
Question-
Crafton?
A question on that then. Since this position is purely advisory, would this person still recuse himself if something came up in that situation? I see Holly shaking her head, so, okay. Answers the question.
Okay. Further discussion? Hearing none, is there objection to the motion? Hearing none, the motion is approved. The next is Carolyn DeYoung to the Planning Commission. Is there a motion?
Madam Mayor?
Mr. Crafton,
I move Carolyn DeYoung to be appointed to the Planning Commission.
is there a second?
Rubio seconds.
The motion's been made by Crafton and seconded by Rubio to appoint Carolyn DeYoung to the Planning Commission. Is there discussion?
Madam Mayor.
Mr. Crafton,
Thank you, Mayor. As like myself, Ms. DeYoung is a real estate agent, has been for a very long time. We have some weird, crazy knowledge about zoning and city regulations and everything as real estate agents, so I think it makes her a pretty valuable asset to the Planning Commission, and would like to see her continue to be there.
Mr. Johnson,
In a question to Ian, in this regard, as a real estate person, do you think that'd be a conflict of interest in some respects? If she's representing property that would come before the commission for zoning or something like that?
Holly, I don't know if that'd be more of a question you would answer, but to me, I feel like it's, if you got a conflict of interest, you have a conflict of interest. Right.
Exactly. I mean, if it does come up, she'll have to recuse herself, or we'll go through the conflict of interest process anyway, and that will be addressed that way.
Mr. Johnson, she has been on it for one term already.
Thank you.
Okay, is there further discussion? Hearing none, is there objection to the motion? Hearing none, the motion passes. The next is Simon Brown to the Planning Commission. Is there a motion?
Madam
Madam
Mayor.
Mayor? Madam Mayor, I move Simon Brown to the Planning Commission.
Is there a second?
Cottle seconds.
The motion has been made by Councilmember Johnson and seconded by Councilmember Cottle to approve Simon Brown to the Planning Commission. Is there discussion?
Madam Mayor.
Mr. Graham?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. So, Simon Brown has been on the commission before, has served on the city council before, has done a great job in both of those. And in previous to this appointment, I was not in support of putting Mr. Brown on the planning commission, not from a standpoint that he doesn't do a great job, he does an outstanding job, but that we needed to recruit some fresh blood, so to speak, to move the city forward. I think Simon is doing a good job on the planning commission now, and I think he provides an important balance. We have a lot of real estate people on the planning commission, and Simon doesn't have that real estate frame of mind. So I think that provides a great balance there, and I'm in support of returning Simon to the planning commission.
Is there further discussion? Hearing none, is there objection to the motion?
Madam Mayor, I object.
Okay,
Roll call vote.
yeah, roll call vote.
Thank you. Councilmember Graham.
Yes.
Councilmember Crafton.
Nope.
Councilmember Johnson.
Yes.
Councilmember Rubio.
Yes.
Councilmember Cottle.
Yes.
Madam Mayor, the motion to appoint Simon Brown to the Planning Commission passes with council members Cottle, Graham, Johnson, and Rubio in support. Councilmember Crafton opposed. Councilmember Schritt is absent.
Okay. Okay, we are on to new business.
I think technically,
Are we still,
I think we need to, and I apologize, I didn't brush up on this part of Roberts, but I believe we need to dispose of the main motion, which was to approve AM number 2561.
Oh, sorry.
And then based on your
right.
changes, so. Is there any objection to the adoption as amended?
hearing none, it's approved.
Okay, I guess it's not amended, but just as presented. Well, amended, removing Tommy Pruitt.
Okay, we are on to new business, and Madam Clerk.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We'll take these in order unless objections raised. First would be resolution serial number 2538, committing fund balance in accordance with Governmental Accounting Standards Board, statement number 54 for the period ending June 30th, 2025.
Okay, is there a motion on ordinance serial number 25-38?
Madam-
Resolution, sorry.
Madam Mayor, Graham moves resolution 2538.
Is there a second?
Rubio seconds.
The motion's been made by Councilmember Graham, seconded by Councilmember Rubio, to approve resolution serial number 25-38. Is there discussion?
Madam Mayor, I moved this to new business just to ask one question of Mr. Leonard. So, just so I understand the numbers that you put in the staff report correctly here, so the general fund balance is gonna be, 56 point some odd $million, and of that, 38 million is committed to capital projects, or are those separate numbers? My understanding is it's, $56 million, $38 million is essentially committed.
Through the mayor to Councilmember Graham. Yes, the total amount of our fund balance is the 56,883,456 based on our field work so far. So that will be the total fund balance as of the end of June 30th, 2025. And we are asking the council to commit to capital projects, the 38.1 million.
And that number is in accordance with the budgets that have been approved by the council. There's nothing new in that $38 million, or 34 million, whatever it was.
Through the mayor to Councilmember Graham, that's true. It's based on how this funding formula works is you look for the stabilization portion through the adopted budget that the council did for FY26 to get your 50% and 60%, and then you move back into FY25 and.
Right, okay, yeah, thank you, sir. That's the way I understood it, but I wanted to make sure since it's a challenge to read. Thank you.
Madam Mayor.
Mr. Crafton?
Thank you, Mayor. And kind of just a clarifying question. The way I understood this is because of GASB 54's new reporting process. Essentially, we're just saying, hey, this is we're making this resolution to follow what you guys are the rule you're changing, essentially, or the new rule. We kind of already done this, but we're just putting more of an official title on how it's being stated per se.
Councilmember, or through the mayor to Councilmember Crafton. Yes, it's something that GASB, it's a hoop they make us do for certain funds under the code. Assignments can be done by the finance director, but to do a portion of the funding to be committed and not just be in your unreserved fund balance, that has to come to the council per code.
Thank you.
Is there further discussion? Hearing none, is there objection to the motion? Hearing none, the motion passes. Madam Clerk?
Thank you. Lastly, we have AM number 2562, contract award to E&D Water Wells in the amount of $66,820 for the Herman Well Drilling Project. Okay.
Is there a motion to approve AM number 25-62?
Madam Mayor.
Mr. Crafton?
Move AM number 2562.
Is there a second?
Second by Councilman Johnson.
The motion's been made by Councilmember Crafton, seconded by Councilmember Johnson. Is there discussion?
Madam Mayor.
Mr. Crafton?
Thank you, Mayor. While I don't necessarily have an objection, I was just trying to get clarification, if I could, I believe this to Eric. What does this 66,000 and change get us exactly? What are they going to be doing?
Thank you, through the mayor. This will drill an 8-inch well at the location of the upcoming Herman Water Tower site. We want to see if there is a viable water source there. It's kind of one of the things that we've done at all of our different water tower sites is look for wells. We've done some testing for a neighbor's well, and the water quality is good enough that we feel that this is an opportunity to see if we can augment our water service. So the idea is that we drill up to a 280-foot well and augment water, water supply to the city through this.
Did you say we're looking for water or we're just drilling the actual well? 'Cause I thought we knew there was water there already.
Well, we know there's water there, absolutely. We're looking for production quality of water.
Okay. And so after this, what would be our next commitment factor that we're
So we'll
looking at?
drill this well. We're confident that we'll see a production that we want to use. And then we're moving into the design for that water tower that will incorporate this and connect on the Herman Road project that we're working on concurrently.
Cool, thank you. I've got no objection to this. Thank you, Mayor.
Mr. Johnson?
Madam Mayor, to Eric then, so this only just drills the hole, puts the casing down there, but it does not put pumping or piping to the existing facility, correct?
Correct.
Just a offhand guess, what's gonna be to really connect it?
Oh, to connect it into the new system? Ooh, that's an excellent question. I'd hate to put a number on it, but I would say it's probably about 100,000 off the top of my head.
And that'll be into next year's budget if this is successful.
Well, we're actually working on that design. We have the CIP. The funds for this drilling is part of the new well CIP that's been funded. So we'll be coming back to the council with that cost estimate as we move ahead with the design and come out to bid with it.
Thank you.
Is there further discussion? Hearing none, is there an objection to the motion? Hearing none, motion passes. Okay, we will now move, is that it? That's it. Okay, we will now move directly to communications. Madam Clerk, please read the item by title.
Thank you. We have Airport Advisory Commission meeting minutes, August 21st, 2025.
Okay. We are now at audience comments, which is a time for members of the public to share their views with the council. This is not a question and answer period or a time for dialogue. Speakers may be referred to administration, or issues raised may be taken under advisement by the council or administration. Anyone in the audience? Seeing no one, we will close audience comments and bring it back to the dais. Madam Clerk.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Just want to wish everybody Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and we will see you all here January 12th, next special meeting. Or excuse me, regular meeting.
Yeah.
And then just real quick on the record, I may as well remember on January 19th, the 21st, and the 28th, we have special meetings scheduled. So make sure you mark your calendar. Thank you.
Okay, Madam Attorney.
Comment, Madam Mayor.
Councilmember Graham.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I too want to wish everybody happy holidays and a Merry Christmas. But I would ask this year, given the events over the weekend, that we take special time to kind of single out Hanukkah so that we understand Hanukkah and the Jewish celebration of the holidays, since there has been, two very violent anti-Semitic acts performed, over the weekend. And I'm a big believer that if we understand each other better, we don't have to agree that you're right or that I'm right, but if we understand each other, I think that's where the peace actually comes from, is the knowledge that I understand where you're coming from. I don't agree with it, but I understand where you're coming from. So I would encourage everyone to take just a minute and study Hanukkah and then see what it's all about. And if you have questions, there are certainly plenty of Jewish leaders here in town and just members of that faith, which would be happy to spend time with you to discuss that. So please take some time, because this anti-Semitic hatred that's going on around the world can't be tolerated. So please do your part to make sure that doesn't expand. But several of us went to Alaska Municipal League annual meeting this last week. It was the 75th anniversary of Alaska Municipal League, which is an organization of currently 165 different local governments that come together to discuss statewide issues. You saw the award that was presented to HR, but essentially recognizing that we have taken great strides forward, and we are looking forward. We're not looking backward, trying to fix problems. We're looking forward, trying to prevent problems. And that's what that award is about, and I think that speaks highly of the administration and the staff. So congratulations to those of you there. Also, you know, the Christmas decorations around the city, they look great, you know. I mean, Mother Nature can beat them up a little bit, but they'll be back, and the city's looking great. Every year we add a few decorations, and it looks better and better, and it's nice to see a city still celebrating the holidays, you know. I mean, we've got the menorah, we've got the nativity scene, we've got general holiday sort of stuff out there. It's great to see that out there. Our merchants appreciate that, our residents appreciate that. So good on you, city staff. Keep up the good work, and good on you, administration. Let's keep that growing every time there. For those of you that attended the city holiday luncheon, you know, sponsored by the city council, it was a great luncheon. I think everybody had a great time. Everybody appreciated a nice meal. I don't remember who the caterer was, but they did a great job. And well, for everybody except Alina down there, they could have done a little bit better by you, but you know, next year we'll see if we can't make that work. But the holiday spirit is definitely there. So you know, also just please remember that not everybody, you know, has as nice a holiday. You know, so if you've got a neighbor with you know, few extra shingles in his yard, maybe need to be picked up. You know, lend a hand. It's really easy to lend a hand. It makes you feel really good, makes your neighbor feel really good. And we certainly appreciate everything that everybody does for each other here. We are truly a community here in Wasilla, and we take care of each other, and this is certainly a great time to show that. So thank you all for attending, and happy holidays to you all.
Okay. Councilmember Cottle.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I was one of those that attended Alaska Municipal League. It's always a good conference to attend, not only for the different breakout sessions and lots of information, and you know, you get to see and hear a lot of things that other communities are doing that might work with us, and we don't have to reinvent the wheel, and they don't either, looking at things that we do. And then just the networking to be able to do with other elected officials is always a good thing. One of the things that the breakout sessions that I attended was one on becoming a recognized age-friendly city. In Alaska, we have 3 of them. It's Anchorage, Fairbanks, and Juneau. And there's no reason that Wasilla can't be one. And so I'm gathering some of the information. It should be pretty easy for us to be designated that. So I'm going to be working on that. For those of you that want to attend the menorah lighting on Wasilla Lake, it will be on Sunday the 21st at 3:30. So bundle up warm and come out and join our Jewish neighbors and help them celebrate. And other than that, I wish everybody a Merry Christmas and Happy Hanukkah.
Okay. Councilmember Crafton.
Thank you, Mayor, and also went to the Alaska Municipal League. It is, again, always a great time, so I won't try and echo too much of what everybody else said. I always go because I like to try and learn something new. I really enjoy how the breakout sessions that you never really know what's going to be there that year, and so it's pretty exciting to see some of the training that they offer. But I think one of the big things that to me was a takeaway was, and it wasn't that I didn't learn anything. I learned plenty, and there's some things I'm working on already for that, is how well of a job the city here is doing. There was a lot of things that during the breakout sessions they talked about, and I went, man, we're already doing that. And so it felt good because sometimes you don't really have a way to check to see how well you're doing beyond just hearing what the residents think, and usually they're just complaining about traffic stops or something, or you know, this or that. We're not doing this, so it's not necessarily always the pat on the back that we'd like to hear. But this year was one of those times where that's what I felt was that, man, some of the things that we've been able to accomplish over these last few years, and even this year, I feel like this year we've done a lot more than we have, and it was just one of those build-up years. But we were doing a really good job here, and so. I just want to say thank you to our administration and everybody here for the work that you guys put in. So Merry Christmas, everybody. Happy holidays, and we'll see you after the new year.
Councilmember Rubio.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Goodness, everybody talked about everything, so there's nothing left, but I'll give you pieces of everything. Went to AML, I went to Pools, Parks, and Play. We're not gonna build a swim pool anytime soon. We are in the right arena doing the ice rink, just so you know. And about the luncheon was awesome. Last year, I felt like everybody was kind of spread out when they showed up. This year, everybody came at the same time, and it felt like a mom to me. Everyone's home, you know, just like real homey and hearty and Christmassy for sure. And they did. The clerk's office, to you, Stu, they did take care of me, and so I was well fed.
You missed it.
A great meeting tonight. Love what WPD is doing in our community. And Merry Christmas to all, and I'll see you next year.
Councilmember Johnson.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Thank you, council. Sounds like I missed a very good meal. Wish I could have been here. However, family circumstances took me otherwise. I want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, and have a great New Year. Thank you.
Mr. Graham, I am so glad you said about helping your neighbors pick up shingles. You know where I live. So, anyway, it was great to go to AML, and like all of them have said, and Mr. Crafton said, when you go into these classes and stuff and they're saying you can do this or this or this, and you're sitting there going, but we're already doing this, you know. And it really gives you a very, I mean, I already have a big sense of pride when it comes to Wasilla. But when you realize that we are doing this and that we are we're ahead of the crowd, you know. And when your council will say, dang, we already doing this. Yes. So Wasilla's on the right track. And I just hope that we can continue, and I think that we will, continue to be on the right track. And it's not an easy track to be on. You know, we heard over here, this side was saying, well, the gas line, it's gonna do this. Well, the Golden Globes is gonna do that. Which camp do you wanna be in? We ain't gonna be in any of them, we're gonna be in both of them. Because, you know what? I've always wanted my share. Lisa Murkowski will always say, Glenda, how much money do you want? And I tell her, you know, I'm not ashamed to say I need 40 million to finish the airport, but we'll get it. So anyway, to all of you, it's been most of the time, I can't say all of the time, but most of the time, it's been a great year. And I do truly appreciate every one of you guys sitting at that table and you guys sitting back there, because, and even you guys, because this is all one ball of wax and we all are stuck to it. So with that, we're kicking that can on down the road, because Wasilla's where it's happening. And this is such a great opportunity for us. Because when you go to AML and you listen to all these other people, you're going, we're not bad off at all. So Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. I will be at the menorah lighting on Sunday. Please come and join me. And I will tell you, I've been there every year, and so has Kathy. So you better dress warm. So with that,